At just 13, this schoolgirl was pressured into sharing intimate photos.
She asked me to send nudes and she would send back. She said send for send. They started sharing it around together and then people started getting a hold of it and started bullying me and making fun of me.
She told Paddy Gower has issues that 2,000 people saw the images before her family contacted the police. Sextortion is when scammers use explicit photos as blackmail for financial gain. In New Zealand, cases are skyrocketing.
Unfortunately, it's big and it's getting bigger. This time, 2020, we were seeing 20-something reports a month. Now we're seeing over 200 reports a month.
But experts say there are ways for parents to keep their kids safe and tools victims can use to remove their photos from the internet. So what can we do to protect ourselves and our loved ones?
Okay, here's everything you need to know. Sophie Mortimer is the manager of Revenge Porn Helpline in the UK. She's here for a conference right now on online safety in Christchurch. First question, Sophie, are these scammers usually strangers to the victim or people that they know?
I think it's a mixture of both. Certainly when we talk about sextortion, that can be from people that the victim knows. But predominantly we're seeing overseas crime gangs targeting predominantly young men for money.
The only way really is prevention, isn't it? Getting the message out there, because it's virtually impossible to find these crime gangs hidden online, isn't it?
Yes, it's really difficult to bring people to justice. They're abroad, and the way that law and law enforcement work, it's very difficult to bring people accountable. So yeah, prevention's really important, raising awareness about these sorts of issues and trying to encourage people to do a little bit of due diligence before they get to know somebody online.
Speaking on behalf of people over 40, why would you send someone a nude picture of yourself in the first place?
I think sending nudes in online relationships is a really common part of that dating and relationship experience online in the 21st century. And in principle, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I would certainly not stand here and say that people shouldn't do it. But I would say maybe just do some of those due diligence checks to make sure the person you're speaking to is who they say they are. Maybe get to know them a little bit before you rush to any sort of online sexual activity. And then maybe don't put your face in it. Just try and keep yourself as anonymous as you can.
That's really great advice. Is there any way to take down nude pictures from the internet if somebody does find themselves in one of these scams or situations?
It absolutely is possible to get content removed. It will depend on where the content has been shared, but most platforms have good, solid reporting routes, or they can come to a service like ours in the UK or NetSafe in New Zealand, and there is a lot of help available. There's also some preventative tools that you can use, such as stopncii.org, so there is help available. Just reach out and ask for some advice.
I can't even imagine what it would be like to go through something like this. What would be the best way to support someone you know, a loved one who's experiencing it?
I think the most important thing is to be there for that person, to listen to them and to reassure them that they haven't done anything wrong and that they're not alone. Those first words that somebody hears when they disclose something like that can have a huge impact. So be supportive, reassuring, and be there to help.
Well, Sophie, thank you so much for your excellent advice.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have a lot of friends who have teenagers who are naturally really worried about online behaviour, and rightly so. But it was interesting, this story for me, to find out that there are actually reports from people as young as 10-year-olds to as old as 65-year-olds who have reported cases of sextortion, and that 74% of those victims have been male. So
yeah, the high number of men, right?
Being wary.
Which in your head, maybe rightly or wrongly, you picture, you know, a young woman being taken advantage of. It's just not reflective of reality.
But these guys are being catfished by really professional overseas gangs. But yeah, like you say, it's across the spectrum that people might need to look out for this. They might need support for this. Sophie mentioned NetSafe and that preventative tool. We've got links to both of those on our Facebook page.